I call this meeting to order of the Mount Vernon Landmark Commission on this, the 24th day of August 2022. And as I said, I believe we are now do have a quorum. We have 4 of our 6 members present. And okay, I didn't have my glasses adjusted.
After you've been doing this a while, you pick up on that.
Okay, we do have minutes from the Landmark Commission meeting of August 3rd. Are there any questions or corrections from our board members? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes. We have a motion from Ralph Robertson. Second? Favi is our second. All those in favor of adoption of the minutes, approval of the minutes? Aye. That's a unanimous vote. Our only item on the agenda is the consideration of a request from Brad Hyman to do some work on the Century Room, the building known as the Century Room, which was originally done by First National Bank many years ago. Mr. Hyman, would you please bring us up to date on your plans?
Bill Hill was our drafting teacher. Those remember Mr. Hill? You want a copy? Sure. We can share. We'll share. I got plenty. Okay. Thank y'all for coming back after just meeting last week. I felt bad about having to reconvene, but thanks for making a little time for me too. I thought maybe Ralph stopped by, and whoever has time after, we can walk down the hill, and I'll give you all a tour through the inside. We're real proud of how the building's looking inside. It's pretty. I'll give you all just a little background. We had bought the building from the bank here recently. They were wanting to get rid of their assets that were on the books or were not performing. So I needed office space for my consulting business, and we've got a couple of things we're going to be doing in there as well. But we started when you go in, you'll see we started at the ceiling and worked our way down. We repainted all the tiles, and we took all the fluorescent lights to LED. Then we painted the walls. They were pretty blue, and redid the wainscot. And then Favi's husband did a beautiful job on our floors. He just finished those a few weeks ago. So it's got all new flooring throughout it. And we suspected we had roof leaks because you could see the stain on the tiles, and sure enough, after we painted it, you could see the water coming through the roof. And we got up on top, and there's bricks all over it from the neighbor's building that have been raining on it. With the wall we share off the top of the Milano's building, it was really deteriorated. So we have re-roofed the building, and we've got up there and did a roof cap system that they did while they were there to secure all that. So we're in good shape up top and got a brand new roof on it too. So roof and all through the inside is largely done. We got a little bit of work to do inside, but not much when you go through there. So outside, we're wanting to. Well, the back, first of all, the back is white. The back will stay white. We're going to freshen it up and redo the windows and get all the rotted wood off that's been bad for a while. At the front of the building, we were wanting to change that brick color to basically a gray. And I don't have the exact gray to give you today, but I'll provide it and let you guys give a thumbs up, as we pick that color out. But the trim color would stay the same. It'd stay white. On your picture there, I tried to kind of just give a little depiction. You can see where the gray and the white would be, but I want to go away from the colonial look. We want to get it to where it carries more of a look, kind of like the Chop House front or Dirt and Diamonds. That more traditional, like you'd seen in 1910, or if you can correct me on that. I don't remember what you call that look, but it'll take on that same look. We'll get away from the paned windows, so it'll be a big single pane picture window, or whatever you would call that. This area that you see up here, that would go away. You kind of see this big header. So we want to We want to make it look kind of more in tune to the other buildings downtown do today. So get away from the colonial, and a gray we thought would be pretty, with that, you know, that top header will be white, and then you'd have a gray. And then there's 3 little boxes there, and you can see I put gray or white. I think as we get it all gray, it'll make sense whether or not those boxes might look, one of them might be white where you could put the address 112 Kaufman or something like that to help highlight it maybe. That's the only little question is, I think.
Here is a pointer,
Oh, good.
so you can see. right there.
Perfect, okay. Yeah, right there is where I'm thinking it might be kind of cool to put, you know, the address, 112 Kaufman or something like that. But basically, everything that's, whatever you call this color, reddish, orangish would go gray, and everything that's white would stay white, would take on a different look as we trimmed it back out. And we're thinking calling it the Century Building instead of the Century Room. So it's you'll go through it. I'd never been through anything more than the main big room area from people that had events in there and stuff. But there's on the left is a nice office space. In the very back, there's another office that Ken used to use to keep all his pictures and stuff in, and videos and stuff. And they called it Ken's room, which is pretty cool. But that's really it in a nutshell. We wanted to bring it to a different color. It's, I think, BF, you might be able to correct me on this, but somewhere around the early 90s when they redid the facade of that building, late 80s, early 90s maybe, when they took that whole front down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was either late 80s or I can't remember. It was on the 100th anniversary of the bank.
Oh, okay.
Established. But they did more than just the facade.
Yeah.
The whole thing was basically gutted and rebuilt.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's pretty cool. You can get up above the suspended ceiling and see all the beadboard wood in there. Typically of me, I would go in there and take all that out. We just decided it was too big of a project to pull all the suspended ceiling out on this one because all the work they did with the wainscot and everything it is really pretty. And if they hadn't done that much to it, I would have done more classic Brad and gutted the whole thing and shown off the old brick and the ceiling, but it was just too much. So, but that is any questions you guys got? We're proud of how it's looking. We've been through the bathrooms and everything. The bathrooms are shared with the pizza joint with Milano's, which isn't ideal, but that's just what they've done through the years. The bank would lease them the use of the bathrooms and.
You explained to me about the type of paint that you would use. Would you share that with the rest of them?
Yeah, Sherwin-Williams has a product that's designed for going over masonry like that. So it keeps moisture out, but it allows the brick to breathe like it needs to. So moisture can still get out of it, but yet it keeps moisture from penetrating as well. So, humidity will go in and out of it, but physical moisture won't. So you don't weaken the integrity of the brick. Kind of like on our house, same thing. It's the same paint we used on our house when we took it white.
Okay, and do we have any other questions from the board? I've never heard of that type of paint before.
I had neither. Same.
Okay. Any question, like I said, questions or concerns? Has anybody ready to propose a motion one way or the other?
I beg your pardon, I did not hear you. I move that we approve the request for remodeling that facade and painting it.
Well, if it's broader, just all of the proposed work so that it wouldn't be limited just in case, but I'll second the motion as Mr. Robertson makes it, yes.
Yes, I would amend the motion to include everything they're doing.
Thank you for what you're doing for the town.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion from Ralph, and B.F. Hicks was our second to approve the request from Mr. Hyman to do the redo the facade, including painting the brick and redoing the exterior around the windows and the entry level, or entry area, right? And windows, yes.
Can we
Excuse me,
cover
I'll-
the sign today too? If he puts Century building instead of Century Room, is that covered within this?
Do you wish
We'll
to?
ask city staff, because if, let's cover that too and not have to come back on that.
Yes, Mr. Hicks, I amended my motion to
All the
include
changes.
everything that he has proposed to do.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we recognize that Mr. Robertson's amendment to his original proposal did include the signage that was discussed or talked about by Mr. Hyman in his presentation. I think we're ready for called for a vote. All those in favor of the motion to approve the request, including all of the changes asked for by Mr. Hyman? Aye? Any, no opposed? Again, unanimous vote for approval. Thank you all for being here. Is there anything else for the good of the cause? And remember, we are actively seeking people to fill some vacancies and some proposed vacancies from people that are saying they really need to retire from the board. So we're still looking for people that are both historically minded as well as interested in community service. With nothing else to be done, I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Ralph? Favi? So we have a motion from Ralph, and Favi is our second for adjournment. All in favor, stand up.